Hey, how's everybody doing? John Tech here, and I got myself a little friend underneath here. It's actually something very near and dear to me from my childhood, actually, is what it is. This is, in my hands right here, this is the Texas Instruments Little Professor Calculator. I remember, and I don't remember who gave this to me. It may have been my dad or my grandfather or maybe my mom. I'm really not sure. But I remember two things about this calculator. Well, actually, I remember three things about the calculator from a very early age. One, that face. That face. I remember that face is what I remember a lot of on the calculator. Right. So I remember that face quite well, actually. Number two, the one thing that I actually really remember about this calculator is getting a very good fondness of how mathematics is done, because one of the things that I'll turn down the lights just a little bit here. One of the things that this calculator does is it actually tests you on your mathematics skills. And on the right hand side, there's a switch that goes from 1, 2, 3, and 4. On the left hand side, there's just a simple on-off switch, and the gives you 4 different sets of operations. And the buttons that are way down here, there's division, subtraction, multiplication, and addition. The buttons at the bottom are go and set for the little professor. You can see that copyright 1976. A very old toy is what this is. But what it was a game. So if I set it to, like, this is level 1, for instance, and I set it to addition, this quizzes you with the well, you better know that. So, alright, so 0 plus 0 equals, and if you type in the right answer, which I just did there, it shows it all the way over there. So 0 plus 0 again, I'll kind of show that there. There's the answer right there, and it goes to the next one, 5 plus 1. Well, if I put in the incorrect answer, like I'm going to hit the 3 button, for instance, it says E, and you get 3 E's, and then after 3 E's, it moves on to the next problem, right? But if you get the correct one, eventually, if you do a bunch of these, I'll try and speed through a whole bunch of these things right there. 5 plus 3, well, that's 8. 0 plus 0, well, we know that answer from before. 2 plus 4, well, that's 6, all right? And 4 plus 1, well, that's 5. And then 5 plus, this is what people go to YouTube to see, crazy. Wow, it's done that one 3 times. Man, I really know good to know. Also, at the end of it, it gives you how many points out of 10 that you got, and it flashes for a little bit of a lengthy period of time is what it does. This will actually kind of continue to flash for, I think it's up around like 5 minutes or something like that. I think there's somewhere on the inside there is a timer. The back of this thing ran on a 9-volt battery. Now, I remember being pretty young, like somewhere in like the age 3 of Sean Tech range, and having a ton of fun with this, because the third thing that I really liked about this guy right here was if you were to just leave these numbers on for a little while, or let the one that blinked, I think the one that blinked is the one that like stayed on for the longest, you could stay up at night playing these games, because I could see them. I could see those numbers, and in the dark, these numbers just so happen to stay lit at night. Isn't that cool? Isn't that cool? And I was always really interested in the operand, because there's minus, there's multiplication, there's division, and some of these problems actually get, like, if you switch to level 4, for instance, and like you do some addition at level 4, and I'll set and I go, and you get 13 plus 27. That one's not so bad. What's that? 50, 40? I think that's 40, right? 40. Is that right? Yeah, that gives me right. 90 plus 19. Some of them get kind of crazy, though. Like, you go to set for the division at level 4, 70 divided by 10. It really does kind of challenge you. And I actually played with this throughout a majority of my early childhood. I remember having this calculator in here. And my daughter is now 6, and my other daughter is now 4, and it's like, well, maybe it's time to see if they find any fun in this. I mean, obviously there's so many other things that are out there, a little bit different, but I thought for one, I'd clean it up a little bit just to kind of see what was there. But then there are these 4 screws that are on the back of this thing, and I thought, wouldn't it be kind of fun just to pop inside of it just to see kind of what's there, what's on the inside of there, because I don't really know what's on the inside of this thing here. I got no idea. So I thought we'd kind of clean the thing up a little bit. I've got some spare wipes over here on the side. I've got some Q-tips that are actually kind of sitting behind me, and a little bit of some isopropyl alcohol that's sitting over right here. And I thought, let's clean it up a little bit and see if it's ready to be passed on. Now let's check out what's kind of on the inside of this guy. So there's 4 Phillips head screws on either side. I'm going to start with the first. Oh, boy, is that crusty. Should have felt that just now. Should have heard that just now. Oh my god. That is not coming out. This thing has easily been played with since the 1980s on here. So there's probably going to be a little bit of some crust on these screws here. So I'm going to get my little tray going over here. Just do it over there, right? And I'm just kind of curious because like this is somewhat older technology in terms of what this is. There weren't computers back then, and as someone who works on electronic hardware, I am now somewhat curious from time to time. This is where the battery is stored in this little slot right there. So we get a little 9-volt battery that I've fairly recently put on the inside of this. I got the third of the 4 screws. I can start. I'm starting to feel this thing actually kind of pop itself open right now. So, oh my gosh, yeah, that one feels like I'm stripping. Sure did. That sure very much felt just now like I was stripping that. So let me try a slightly different one. I'm going to try one that's a little bit sharper. See if I can't really dig into those guys. So we definitely got to make sure that we clean those out with some isopropyl and some swabs just to see. All right, something that's as old as my childhood. What do you have on the inside? Well, the switches are somewhat loosely connected. Looks like the front is coming off first. Okay, so there you have it. Here's the front. The front is really it's actually really just a bunch of plastic pieces and a little red connector. So it's red. Do those guys, like if you turn this on, do those guys actually show up as a different color? Oh, they do. They have their own little unique colors inside of them. That's so cool looking. Like, in particular, look down at the one that has all the operands on it. I don't know if you can see that on there. There's the plus. There's a minus, multiplication, and a division. There's all kinds of little tiny LEDs with those guys. They're very small. I don't see the. Oh, I do see them. Oh, no way. There's wires that go down to. Wow. That's kind of a complex little thing. I wonder what that's called. I really do actually kind of wonder what that's called down there. All right, so there's this very large black panel, which seems to be somewhat connected to, oh boy, oh my. This large black panel, this is in an age before ribbon. Actually, one of the things I'm going to do real quickly, just in case, I am going to put my ESD wrist strap on to make sure that I've got some ESD on me. I don't know if you can see this. You probably can't. There are wires that are soldered on top of, oh, not there, sorry, right there, yeah, right there. This is going to be really, really hard to show. And I've got my microscope kind of kicked up as high as I can get it right now. But there are small wires that are coming off of where the buttons go to, like these guys that are right there. There's no ribbon. There's just really long wires that go down to, I don't think, let me see if I can get this up just a little bit higher, just to give myself some boost here. Alright, so I'm going to try to bring this thing so that you can see it. Yeah, there's like, the wires just kind of go underneath. They're just kind of like, they're definitely like separated apart, but they go underneath just like to these spots. There's a really, somebody bent those most likely by hand when they were connecting this thing together. Now, other than that, there really is not a lot on the inside of this thing. There is a chip down there. There is a chip way down there. It says, I'm going to try to zoom in on the chip. It says TMS 0975NL. There's a CSP 7640 is the other thing that said. That is quite literally the only thing that I see. Like whatever this array is of stuff is that's up here, the LEDs that, I mean, I'm assuming they're LEDs. They're red LEDs, right? They just kind of don't have any like series resistors or anything like that. This thing in itself, this is kind of, there's a number 3 written away underneath this right there. This is the push button. It says, I don't know if you can see that. The push button thing, it says right there, it says Texas Instruments patent pending. Texas Instruments Incorporated patent pending is what it said. That's for like the little button thing that's on there. Yeah, that's kind of cool. Alright, so this thing is so basic on the inside. Everything is just mixed on the inside of the chip. That's really kind of crazy. Like everything is just there on the inside of the chip. And honestly, in all honesty, in all complete honesty, this is actually relatively clean on the inside. Like there's a little bit, that kind of looks like maybe it's some fluxing agent, something like that. That would be my guess, is that that's some sort of a fluxing agent. I guess I can find out real fast here. I hope I don't break my toy. I feel kind of sad. It's one of those, just been one of those toys that's been with me for a while, you know. Yeah. I think that is kind of just that's just leftover fluxing agent from when this thing was soldered all that many years ago. I mean, there's not a lot of soldered joints on this thing either. You can even tell some of them are sort of bent in. So it's definitely something that was at some point all put together by hand. And that what I'm doing right now, I shouldn't be doing this with a live battery in this. In fact, I'm probably going to stop just to you know, I'll clean it up a little bit later on. I just wanted to take a look inside it. I wanted to take a look inside a toy from my childhood that I've loved in terms of what that is. Just kind of clean the whole thing up. It all just kind of fits right back on there again. Oh wow, that's so cool. It still works. It still turns on. There's the plus sign to it. Yeah, that is so cool. It really is so cool. Only I've got to put the little clip back in. There's a little clip that's on the side. I do recall that as well. I do recall really liking that I could just kind of hang this thing from my belt loop, you know. It's just totally, I'm totally breaking down in the nerd spectrum at this point right now, you know. I'm just totally, completely breaking it down. The back of it actually has a whole bunch of information too. Texas Instruments electronic calculator, all right. This product and its components are protected by one or more of the following U.S. patents. And these are, I mean, gosh, there's an individual serial number on this thing. It's incredible. I don't know how many of these are made. How many of you, I'm going to kind of clean this up a little bit in the screw threads here. How many of you had one of these toys growing up? Or how many of you look at this and going, I can't believe people got enjoyment out of such a simple, I mean, think about this. This is in all standards to like what it is that we like play with now. This is pretty simple. Like this is just a very, very simple toy is what it is. But actually one of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of pass this around to some of the people that I know. Actually just looking down on the inside I can see plastic screw threads on here. Leave a comment though. Did anyone else actually have this toy growing up? And enjoy it as much as I did. So I really did love this toy. This was another one of those toys that when I was little, it really made math fun, especially because, I mean, number one, just the LEDs lit up at night. Number two, it was awesome just, knowing I was getting stuff right. Like, I remember at a pretty early age, I remember knowing some, not like a major amount, but some multiplication tables. This was one of the reasons that I knew them, like, at a young age. It was this basic toy. And, like, they call it a basic toy. I mean, like, it's a toy, is what it is. It was a fun toy that I played around with that got me the mathematic know-how, and I still to this day, like, I remember taking several math classes in college, and I remember really in particular in grade school that math was fun because there was an answer, like there was something that you could solve, and there was a process that one could kind of focus on towards being able to build this thing. I'm going to button it all back up for right now. I'll make another video where I take the battery out and actually, because it's kind of late at night at this point right there. I really had a nice relaxing time playing some games with my friends, having a lot of fun time. But I want to spend some time, but I really did want to open this thing up and kind of take a closer look at it. I can't believe it's so simple though. Like, I don't know, I expected just more, like not just one chip and some LEDs and a button pad, I suppose what we'll do is at least wipe down the outside. Let me put the screwdriver tip that I used, by the way, which comes out of this kit, is the Phillips head. Does it have a number by it? This does have a number by it there. Where is it? It is that one right there. So it looks like a 10. Is that what it is? That might say 0.10 is what, or no, J0 is what that says. It says J0 by it. Great kit, by the way. It doesn't say that on there, does it? Oh, it does. This is a cool kit. I got this kit from iFixit. Fantastic kit. Forgot how much I paid for it. Maybe like $40, something like that. The driver, even though it's a little bit small, is silky smooth. Like, literally silky smooth. I think that's actually the word they use in their commercial, and they're right with this one. Like, the little barrel that's on the end of there is really, really easy to palm this and get this guy to work. I wish this was a little bit longer. That's just me, because I got big hands. But all like the little bits that this came with are absolutely fantastic and perfect for little projects like opening up old toys so that you can kind of clean them up a little bit in terms of what it is that we were doing. But yeah, this was a cool toy. It made me really like science. It made me really, really like math, and it made me a complete and total nerd when I was growing up. You are one of the things that made me a nerd, and I'm happy for it because I remember in lots of times at school that a lot of people were like, oh, math, ugh. And it's like, no, there's a solution to this. One of the things that I hated in school was trying to interpret something, trying to figure out like, what does something mean? And a lot of that just meant reading things, looking into the details, thinking in extra large amounts in terms of what it is that could be. This doesn't feel like it's fully connected on. I don't know if that's just me. I think that's just me, but I'm gonna still tighten it down. Like, I didn't like a lot of the classes that were all about like trying to interpret things. Science was a little bit different. Science was all kind of about interpreting trends, is what it was. So like, it was like trying to figure out where another trend was going, and I liked that. I really did like that growing up. But like other stuff, math had defined solutions, at least in the grade school area, and they had a way to solve them that made sense. So, but yeah, that's kind of the gist of things. And hey, she still works. She still works, and I can figure out what 3 + 3 equals. Is what that is right there, right? Hey, did you like this video? You want me to go and look at something underneath the microscope? Maybe take something apart? I actually got a really kind of a expensive project sitting down there, and I'm not quite sure what I'm going to be doing with on there. But let me know. Leave a comment down in the comment below. Like, comment, whatever YouTube people do these days. I don't even know at this point right there. But yeah, we'll see you around on the next video. All right, see you later. Bye-bye.